Russia's failed invasion attempt has almost reached its seventh month. While intense clashes between the two countries continue in the eastern regions of Ukraine, the war has also spilled over into Crimea, the south of Ukraine, in recent weeks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had called for Western countries to impose sanctions against Russia, which continues its relentless attacks. Responding to this call, the authorities of the Scandinavian countries announced that they will reduce the number of visa appointments issued to Russia from September. They introduced this bill to punish Russia for the fact that it is still continuing the war on the territory of Ukraine. The Finnish government has reduced the number of visa appointments granted to Russian citizens to 1,000 per day in recent months. However, due to the fact that these sanctions do not have a deterrent to stopping the war, they have reduced this number to 500 with a change again. According to Jussi Tanner, Director General of Consular Services at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Finland, the Finnish government will issue visa appointments to 500 Russian citizens per day. According to the ministry's statement, only 100 of the 500 daily visa appointments will be tourist applications. The remaining 400 will cover visa applications related to politics and business. Finland has been a popular holiday destination for Russian citizens for many years. According to the Finnish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, before the Russian annexation of Crimea in 2014, 75 Yuzdeyov tourists to Finland were Russian citizens. The ministry said that the decision to refuse visas applied for has increased tenfold since 2019, and only 15 Yuzdeyov tourists arriving in Finland are Russian citizens. The Finnish Prime Minister said that Finnish citizens are annoyed that when they see Russians, they act as if nothing happened. He also said that those who started the war are not Russian citizens, but they should oppose Putin and express their reaction, but on the contrary, they support the war. He stated that while there were hundreds of innocent people who lost their lives after the Russian army's attacks on Ukrainian citizens, it was not right for Russian citizens to come to Europe on vacation to see the scenery. Alexei Navalny, known for his heavy criticism of the Kremlin, said that European countries have not imposed sanctions on Russian oligarchs who have close relations with Russian President Putin. Navalny proposed a 20-year travel ban to the UK, US and EU for Russian officials and oligarchs who publicly support the Russian invasion of Ukrainian territory. Ukrainian government officials released a new report on Wednesday. In this report, the Russian air base in Crimea, the Russian ammunition depot in Mask and the airspace in Gvardisko were operated by Ukraine with HIMARS missiles from the United States. According to the latest shared information, it is known that there were at least 3 explosions on the peninsula in Crimea. The report notes that the shelling at the airbase in Saki was a heavy loss for Russia. And these operations show how much Ukraine's combat capability has increased, as well as its successes in the Crimea. Experts who made a statement after the speech of the Ukrainian defense minister, the defense minister hinted that the operations that will be carried out to regain the territories occupied by Russia in recent months will accelerate even more and the pressures will increase. The armed forces of Ukraine have begun to pay more attention to their operations, especially since July, to the Russian army. However, when we examine its tactics on the ground, we see that the Ukrainian army is trying to make small gains on the front, but to make operations that will cause the Russian army to suddenly collapse by opening holes. In particular, it has been damaging Russian supply points, roads, bridges and railway tracks for several weeks. Apart from that, they carry out operations on Russian ammunition depots, land and air bases. In this way, they are organizing operations that will lead to the destruction of the Russian army, leaving it powerless. They apply shelling to Russian ammunition depots, leaving the Russian army without equipment. It makes the logistics routes to which it ships ammunition unusable, preventing it from receiving support and meeting the need for weapons and bullets. A commander from the Ukrainian army made a statement to news sources about the last areas hit. The Russian military said it attacked the Ukrainian port city of Odessa on the Black Sea coast with missiles and bombers, injuring 4 people. He announced that Russian warplanes launched missiles at the city of Zhytomyr in Belarus, located in the north outside Odessa, and finally, Russian attacks continued in Kharkiv, the largest city in Ukraine after the capital Kiev. The Crimean Peninsula, located on the Black Sea, was shaken by an unknown explosion for 2 weeks in a row. One of them took place at a Russian air base, and the other at a Russian ammunition depot. Last week, explosions at an air base in Crimea killed 1 person, injured 10 and rendered 7 Russian fighter jets unusable. On Tuesday this week, smoke rose from a Russian ammunition depot in the area after explosions last week, injuring 2 people. The Russian government claimed that the first incident was caused by an accidental explosion of ammunition, but satellite images show that a deliberate attack took place. He claimed that the explosion that took place on Tuesday was the result of a fire. The Kremlin wants to hide its failures, but everything is in front of the eyes of the world. He tries to deny his failures, which he cannot hide, with different explanations. When he confirms the shelling that took place at the airbase in Crimea, which he annexed from Ukraine, it will mean that they could not protect the Russian-dominated territory, and it will cause a lot of controversy in Russia. That's why the Russian government is hiding the facts from the media and trying to fudge them. The Ukrainian government has not claimed responsibility for either incident, but is thought to have purposely kept quiet. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had stated at the beginning of August that the Ukrainian armed forces would not end the war against Russia until they reclaimed the Crimean Peninsula, which they had annexed from Ukraine after Russia's brutal attacks launched in 2014. He announced that no Ukrainian soldier will give up until the Russian army comes out on Ukrainian territory and they will continue to resist to the end. Russia is trying to continue to advance in the eastern regions of Ukraine. Fierce clashes between the two countries are still ongoing in the eastern region of Ukraine, which has been a key deconfliction point in recent months. A Ukrainian military official said that the Russian army is dropping bombs on the Donbass 800 times a day. The Ukrainian armed forces reported that recently Russian forces again tried to advance from the north of the important city of Sloviansk, but their attacks and invasion attempts failed and they were repulsed. The whole world has seen Putin's failures in the war. He sent many of his soldiers to the fronts where they would lose their lives in plain sight. Due to the fact that he lost more soldiers than he expected, he experienced a lack of infantry at the front. Because of Putin's anger, his commanders on the ground had more difficulties. With the decision made by the Kremlin, the prison sent the prisoners to the front in exchange for money. He claimed that he would give them $3,000 a month and that their fines would be cancelled if they returned alive at the end of 6 months. Its accuracy is not yet known. When do you think the tension between Ukraine and Russia will end decisively, and when will the war end? The people of Ukraine want to return to their old peaceful days. You can find the latest and most powerful news from the world on this channel.